Hello and good evening, AP European History students. It is fantastic to get to broadcast to you guys tonight. This beautiful evening in the valley in my backyard. You can see my tree, barely, my barren yard that I haven't fixed up yet. Oh, and a fruit tree. By the way, that's a delicious fruit tree. Maybe I'll bring some fruit in to start growing. Anyway, that's not why you're here. I just want to say I'm very excited to get started learning again with you guys. It's been a weird couple of weeks, to say the least. And to be honest, I've missed you guys a lot. As I've been planning ahead and looking at the curriculum that we're going to be going through, I've been getting more and more excited. I've been missing you guys because I've been wanting to talk to you about it and discuss it and go through it and just sharing the experience that we started in term 3. So I'm excited to get back to it. Tonight's video is basically here just to give you an idea of what we're going to be doing, provide you with a little bit of my rationale for why we're doing it this way, provide a little bit of explanation for how this is going to go. I just want you guys to know, ultimately, I chose to take the system that we already had and modify it slightly because there's enough uncertainty going on, and I figured just keeping it the way that we had it would be just the most comfortable for all of us. Of course, though, I'm also very intent on making sure that those of you who want to take the AP European History test are going to feel more than adequately prepared for it as well. So there's a mixture of both of those things going into my thought process. So I'm going to switch over here to a document that's going to largely be guiding us through this entire experience. And I'm just going to go through it kind of piece by piece. And the whole idea of giving you this document, and I've put a fair amount of work into it, is to try and literally give you everything that you're going to need for this entire distance learning. So I've mapped out the next 6 weeks with all of the assignments, all of the short answer questions, long essay questions, all the extra videos. Everything is on one single document for you, and I'm hoping that it's laid out in a way that is easy to understand and provides you with a sense of security going forward. So let's just go through it, and if you have questions, of course, you can email me, message me. I know a couple of you already have. A couple of you already asked some questions about or on the Google form that I sent out, so I appreciate that. And so here we go. So this is the document that I'm going to be sending out with this post on Neo. So you can also follow along if you'd like to as well. So here's how this is going to go. These are each of the weeks. These are the chapters that we're going to be covering. I'm going to be honest with you, it's a lot. I'm going to modify the page numbers that I expect for you to read, essentially because we all know that Spielvogel chapters are absolutely absurdly long. And so my goal is I will try to give you the page numbers that you really just are maybe the most important, or maybe the page numbers I think that you should focus on, and then through some supplemental assignments, maybe we'll cover the other things. So you can see here I've color-coded it as well. The color codes are the units. So these first 3 weeks are going to be a unit. That's going to be the unit from 1648 to 1815. And then these next 2 units I actually divide up in half. It's really only 1 unit for the College Board and kind of for the time period, but there's just so much that happens in the 19th century, so I kind of break it down into 2. So the first unit's going to be the first half of the 19th century, kind of 1750 to 1850, and then we're going to do 1850 to 1914. The reason why week 8 says for the last 3 weeks we'll see is because the College Board exam is really only going to cover information from the beginning of our course through chapter 24 here. And so it's going to be, we're going to get through what the College Board expects. If we have extra time, I'm actually thinking we can use that for kind of a final research project, something that we can somehow be a little bit more creative with. So we're going to see how that goes. The reason I color-coded this for you is to give you the time periods, but also just know at the end of each of these units, you're going to have a unit exam, and that's going to be on Friday, and I'll get to a description of that in just a second. So that's the overview of what we're doing. You can see I gave the topics of kind of what's going to be discussed. A lot of isms, a lot of different revolutions. I mean, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm really excited. I've been doing way too many John Green videos to stay sane. My wife is rolling her eyes, and my daughter has stopped listening to me altogether. So, anyway, that's why I'm excited to see you. So here's our weekly schedule going forward. The schedule is going to stay the same. I'm not really going to deviate from it unless we start getting really comfortable with it and we want to add some things or switch it up a little bit. Or if we find that it's just not working for us, I'm more than happy to start modifying it. So we'll kind of fumble our way through this distance learning thing together. Um, our class, according to the district schedule, is set to have kind of meeting times on Mondays and Wednesdays. So here's how we're going to kind of do this. On Monday, I'm going to divide you guys up into small groups. Probably, I mean, honestly, with our class size, we could probably do groups of 2 or 3, but I might break up into groups of 4 or something. I'm still deciding on how I'm going to do it. And I'm going to give you each a time on Monday to check in with me over Zoom. The idea of doing a small group is to give you a little bit more of a personalized opportunity to check in with me, questions on the reading, questions on assignments, questions on things you didn't understand from the previous week, and also an opportunity for me to just, if there's any sort of skill thing I think we should be focusing on, kind of going from or talking about that in a smaller group. So that's going to be from 1 to 3:15. You can probably plan on having between 20 and 30 minutes of that time with me. Again, since we have a smaller class, we can have a smaller group talking for a longer period of time, and I think that's going to be more effective. Plus, I just don't know how students are ever going to pay attention to an entire class Zoom meeting. If it's hard enough to get people's attentions on their phone when they're physically in front of me, I can only imagine what it's like when they're behind a computer screen. So we're going to do small groups in order to get through that. Tuesdays, that's when your chapter notes are going to be due, just like we always have done. And that's going to be a work day for you. That's for time for you to get those supplemental assignments done. A time for you to maybe start looking and pre-writing some of those short answer questions or long essay questions that I've given you for each week. That's time for you to use how you feel like you should use it. Wednesday, because I think it's really important to keep going with these student presentations, I am actually going to ask that we all do a come to a Zoom meeting, and we're going to go through our student presentations. You guys are going to share your screen. You're going to share it over Zoom. I'm going to grade you as we go, like I've always done, and then if I feel like I need to add some things to it, I will. I also might clarify some points that are confusing on that Wednesday Zoom meeting. But either way, and again, we'll be recording those Zoom meetings too, so that everybody has access to that as well in case something comes up and you're unable to make that time. So we'll make sure that everybody has the resources that they need. Thursday, another work day. Again, time for you to get things done. On Friday, all supplemental assignments are going to be due. I'm going to put an assignment on Neo that just says supplemental assignments. And then I'm going to ask that you upload those assignments using your Google Drive. There's a way for you to do that on Neo. And instead of me having to click links, it actually just uploads the doc right to Neo so that I can actually just go through it. It's a lot easier for me, I'll be honest. And actually, I would imagine probably easier for you because you don't have to worry about hyperlinks. For those weeks that have exams, we'll have an exam on Friday. The exam is going to be a Neo assignment that will be timed, and there's not going to be any multiple choice. So you guys can say hip hip hooray, there is no more Spielvogel multiple choice quizzes, there's no more Spielvogel multiple choice tests. You are done with multiple choice for the most part in this class. So that is just to be aware of that. So your exams are going to be another Neo assignment. They will be timed. Then it's going to be 2 or 3 short answer questions and 1 long essay question. You're going to see how when I show you each week that each week I've actually given you essay prompts to prepare and short answer question prompts to prepare as well. So the idea is I'm going to choose one of those long essay questions based off of whatever the document says, and then I'm going to pick 2 or 3 of those short answer questions. You won't know which ones, but I am going to be nice, and that when there are options of places, I'm going to leave all of those options there. I know. I'm growing soft. It's all the time I'm spending with my wonderful, beautiful, intelligent, feisty daughter. It's softening my cold, dead heart. But anyway, that's going to be those Friday exams. I still haven't figured out exactly how I'm going to give it, but it will be an assignment on Neo. It will be timed, and it will be during that flex time that the district said that's on Friday. So most likely it'll be Friday afternoons. It'll most likely be about an hour to an hour and 5 minutes of your time. So just to prepare for those. Here's what you need to do each week. What you need to do is obviously read and take notes on each chapter that is assigned. For 2 chapter weeks, I'm going to give you the pages to focus on. So just be aware you'll be reading about the equivalent of 1 chapter per week. I'm going to be giving you guiding questions for each of the chapters that you're reading. You don't need to turn in these answers, but I'm giving you these questions because I'm trying to help you unpack the material. Again, you're not going to have as much interface with me, so I'm trying to do as much as I can for you so that you can kind of go through this learning a little bit more independently. And I literally went through the chapters I've only done the first week of those guiding questions, but I'm planning on going through those chapters and writing the questions in order as they appear. So again, you'll have those questions kind of as you're reading to just think about. And if you feel like, man, I didn't really get that question from what I read, you might want to go back and do that. So those are also great questions if you want to ask me during our Monday meetings as well. And then, of course, the second thing you have to do is complete and turn in all supplemental assignments. I would maybe add, and perhaps I'll add here too, you might want to begin to prepare answers for those long essay questions and short answer questions for LEQs and SAQs. By the way, long essay questions, short answer questions. LEQ, long essay questions, short answer questions. Yeah, okay, you get it. Yeah, fine. Okay, and these assignments will be due on Friday. So essentially, you have all the work that you have to do for the week, and it's the notes are due on Tuesday, or the pieces reflections due on Tuesday, and then your other assignments are due on Friday. So you have time to get things done, and flexible time, so that in case something comes up, you can do whatever you need to do. So here's a sample of week 1. Now you already have this, but I'm just going to go through it so that you can see kind of what I'm doing. So you can see the guiding questions that I gave you for chapter 15. Again, these are just questions for you to go through. If you didn't understand one of these questions, you might want to go back and review. It should help you unpack it. I couldn't help but adding a little bit of jokes, a few jokes in there, which I'm sure all of you are going to find very funny, and you're going to really laugh out loud, and your parents are going to think you're weird. I know my family does think I'm weird. So go through those guiding questions. I know there's a lot of them, but again, I literally went through the chapter and just asked questions that I thought would help you unpack it. I've given you for each week additional resources. These videos are not mandatory for you to watch, but these videos are fun. They're added content to help you unpack the chapter. Honestly, in some cases, they're actually just as good as reading the chapter, and I've always been a fan of John Green's videos, not just because his content really lines up with what the College Board wants you to learn, but I think he's a really interesting person, and I got to tell you, his AP European History, just his European History videos are really interesting. He's kind of grown up a little bit, and you see that in his videos, and you see that in his humor, and you see that in the way he attacks it. So I've really enjoyed watching these videos. I haven't watched all of them, but I have enjoyed watching the few that I have. I've also added some Khan Academy stuff. What would be our European history class if I didn't have a few Rick Steves travel videos just to get you very excited. And And again, every once in a while, I'm going to put in some documentaries that if you would like to watch, go for it and have fun. Again, I'm not saying you have to watch these things, but these are videos that will help. So if you have time and or you're just curious, I would encourage you to watch the crash course videos, and I'd encourage you to have your chapter notes out and add some things that you learned from the videos into your notes. It's only going to help you. Especially when you get to things like Russia and Prussia. By the way, Prussia is not just Russia with a P, it's a whole separate place. And I also got to tell you that I don't know that I think Spielvogel does a really good job at describing the Dutch Golden Age, and so this is a video that might help you understand it. The beginning of chapter 15 and 16 and 17 kind of talks about some of the events that are going on during the 17th century, and he kind of briefly talks about some of those crises, and John Green goes further into it. So again, if you want more information on these things, it's only going to help you for the AP exam, and they're fun. So here are the supplemental assignments. There's going to be 3 of them each week. I'm going to be posting links to the assignments. Obviously, as you can see, I haven't done that yet. I've put a lot of work into just creating this document, so I haven't had time to make these videos yet. So this is my second video. I did my AP World video first, but this is my second video. I'm still learning how to do these things, and so please expect that in the next couple of days. But you'll have links to these assignments. They will be on Google Docs or Google Slides. I'm going to also try to do a screencast video of instructions so that you kind of know what you're supposed to do. And again, if you ever have questions, you can email me, and I'm going to be checking my email pretty frequently, so I should be able to get back to you. And we'll modify it if it needs to be changed. So just know some of them are gonna have Oftedal videos with it, especially if it's a major term that I want you to understand. I'm gonna make sure that I do at least a little mini lecture video, kind of discussing what you should be going through. And then I have a link to the student presentations. The presentation, obviously, the document you can open up that gives you an example of what it's, or explanation for what you're supposed to do. And then I've already made the groups for each week as well. So what's really nice is I've actually given you guys ideas for your syntheses. And that's largely because a lot of times I try to fill in the gaps with what I can. But because we don't have as much FaceTime, I'm just going to have you guys help me fill in those gaps. So I'm going to ask that you do that synthesis when you do it. Again, if you have questions on things, it'd be a good idea to just email me. We also might need to think about, maybe we can do this on our first meeting on Wednesday, think about making sure everybody has everybody's contact information and how we'd like to go about doing that, just so that everything can kind of go smoothly. And then, like I said, oh, by the way, just to reiterate, these student presentations are going to be on Wednesday during our hour, and there is no, Oftedal just didn't get to it this time, so this is actually going to be on Wednesday, which I know is might be a little bit of a different feeling for you guys, since I've been known to be quite loquacious and go a little bit too long in my discussions. So then you can see I give you potential short answer questions, just like we've always done with our warm-ups, how Owen always loves going to Neo, resources, opening up the documents, reading those documents right away without any sort of talking to neighbors and distracting people. You all are really good at that. So these are the short answer questions that we typically do as warm-ups. They're going to just be here. We're not necessarily going to do all of them. Sometimes the supplemental assignments will help you answer both either the short answer questions or the long essay questions. I'm going to do my absolute best to give you guys documents for these. That's going to be another thing I'm going to hopefully add. I'm going to add this week and to subsequent weeks. Just like here, I've given you the images to refer to. I'm going to try to make sure I give you the document. So I will get the selection from James the First speech to the Lords Commons of Parliament. Like, I'll get you the excerpt I want you to use to answer it. So I'm going to try to do that for you guys as well. I'm going to do that for you guys as well. And then you have the long essay question possibilities. Of course, one of those is going to be what is discussed in the student presentations, and then the other happens to be from the Baroque Art Khan Academy assignment. So, and by the way, I know when you see this assignment, I'm sure some of you are throwing up a little bit in your mouth, but here's the deal. I have shortened them. They are not as long as the Greek art one, so you'll be watching 3 to 4 videos instead of a ton of them. But again, it's an important part of the course, and actually a fair amount of, well, I don't know how it's going to be this year, but in the past, multiple choice questions have oftentimes had art pieces from each of the different time periods, so it's important to also do. So you can see this document is not finished yet. I am still working through it. I still have to add the guiding questions. I still have to add, of course, the videos and different links to documents and slides and all that sort of stuff. So that's getting there, but there are a lot of things already set for you guys. So you can kind of see where we're going each week and what we're going to be covering. And the sorts of activities that we're going to be doing. So my goal again is to try and set you guys up so that there are as few surprises as absolutely possible. I want you to feel supported. I want you to feel like this is a positive experience. Honestly, I know it's work, but I also want you to have a little bit of fun with this. So I'm hoping that our check-ins, I'm hoping that the assignments, I'm hoping that the videos are going to help you enjoy researching the content that, frankly, I started getting really excited about as we were going. And I know you all make fun of me, but Chapter 15 is literally one of my favorite chapters, and so is 16, and so is 17. So I'm just very excited for where we're about to go in history. Before I go and let you get back to your evening or your morning or whenever you're watching this video, I just want to say, if there's any reason why it would be a struggle for you to complete the assignments, if you're caring for somebody who is sick, if you're going through an intense period of anxiety, if you don't have regular access to Wi-Fi, whatever it may be, if there's something that you need support with, please reach out to me. You can email me, you can message me on Neo. Whatever way you can get in contact with me, please do, because I'm here to support you. We're a small class, and that's one of the beauties of AP European History, and that makes us kind of like a family. So I want to make sure that we're taking care of each other, that I'm taking care of you the best I can. So if there's any way I can support you, if there's anything you need, please let me know. I can't promise to solve all your problems, but I'll do my best to try and help. So I hope you're all doing really well. I hope your families are staying safe. I hope you're enjoying a little bit of the time and having some fun. I know a couple of you emailed me because you were getting bored, so I hope my podcast and documentary recommendations have been somewhat enjoyable. And I look forward to seeing you guys soon this week. So until then, have a great day. Bye.